Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back to your Beauty Biz Bestie series. Okay, so I'm super excited today to talk about this subject because it's near and dear to my heart. And I know the end goal for a lot of us beauty besties or beauty business professionals is to open up our own beauty salon or our own salon and spa. So let's get into that today. Let's talk about it, okay? Let me just give you a little brief history about your girl, right? Merlene. Who am I? What do I do? I kind of get into it just a little briefly in the summary on the page. If you read it, that's fine. If you didn't, oh well, that's okay too. I have been raised in the beauty salon, if you will, since as long as I can remember, right? My mom was actually a licensed cosmetologist, and she has been since before I was born. So this is something that has been long before I even came around. And ever since I can remember, she's always had a beauty salon or has been working in beauty. When I was first born, she actually had a studio in her basement, and we lived in New York at the time. So my mama has always been a hustler. That's probably why I have that hustler spirit in me, period, like Jay-Z said. Anyway. Oh, I forgot I had mascara on. Anyway, I think that's why it's kind of in my blood. The entrepreneur, the hustle in me. My mom has always been doing it. So anyway, she's had the beauty salon in the basement when we lived in New York back in 1993. We moved out here in 1994 to Orlando. And she started working at Cost Cutters and just to like different places to build back up her clientele in the area. And then she opened her first full service beauty salon in 1997. And when I say full service, I mean she had two barbers, one lady that did quick weave, one lady that did blowouts, and she had a nail tech in the front. And then she did, perms, roller sets, relaxers, you name it, she did it. So yeah, she had a pretty much full service beauty salon. That was back in 1997 when that first opened. And I just remember growing up, like literally my childhood was in that beauty salon. After I come from school, either my mom or dad would pick me up and take me to the shop, is what we would always call it, the shop. So I was definitely raised in the beauty salon. I was there. If I wasn't at school, I would be there at the shop. And mind you, sometimes we would be there till like 9, 10, 11 o'clock, midnight on the weekends. My Saturdays would be there. Sundays was the only day that they weren't open. So that was the only time that we stayed at home. It made such an impression in my childhood. So I guess it's kind of crazy how it comes back full circle that I'm in the beauty industry now. My mother is pretty proud of me. So anyway, she's had a beauty salon and spa in the area from 97 to 2009. 2009, she fell ill. So she just couldn't keep up with the day-to-day stuff that it required to take to run a full service salon. So fast forward to now, mind you, I went to college for political science to eventually go to law school, right? And then I got to a place in my career where I was working at this resort. I had been there for 5 years and I was just so unfulfilled. And I had my first daughter at the time. I was married, had my daughter. Now this is back in 2016 when I had my first child. And I was like, yo, I gotta make a change. This is not it. This is not it. This is not me. And I always knew I wanted to own my own business. And I mean, that might be because of my parents owning their own businesses. My dad was also a mechanic. He's always had his own mechanic shop. And my mom had the beauty salon. But I always knew I wanted to own my own business. I was like, that's the way to go to survive in this country. Me personally, that's how I felt. So we get to this place in 2016. I'm like, I gotta make a change. I gotta switch it up and figure out what I'm gonna do next. So I spoke with my husband. We figured out a plan for me to start going to beauty school, cosmetology school. I went through, mind you, before I got to that decision, I went through a list of probabilities because I was just like, am I really gonna do this? Am I really about to do what my mama did? And like that's gonna be it? But if I'm being honest, it was always in my heart. I always had a passion for it. I always had a love for being in the shop, being in that environment, in the beauty, just watching women come in one way and leaving another, just feeling confident and feeling whole and feeling boosted and just have that boost of energy, like that transformation, if you will. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, you know, when you go to the hair salon and when you leave, you just like feeling yourself, like that right there always just did something to me. I was like, you like literally change people's lives, like with your talent and your skills. So first I went for my hair braiding license, hated it, didn't like it. Only because the standing hours on your feet all day, and it's just not something that I saw myself doing long term. I knew I wanted to do something in the beauty industry, but braiding wasn't really it. So I went back for my nail license in 2017. So in 2016, I got my hair braiding license, and now it's like gone because our lovely governor. Anyway, so 2017, I went back for my nail license. And mind you, I'm still working full time at my job. And then I'm going to school at night. So I'm only doing 4 hours every day. So I would go straight from work to school. And I did that for like 6-7 months because, you know, it was part-time, it took longer. And I loved it. I loved it. This is the first time I felt like I felt creative. Like I felt like my creative juices could flow, and it was crazy what I could create with like my hands. For me, that was a lot. That said a lot. So nail school, I loved it. I fell in love. I was like, this is it. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna hunker down doing. Cause the process of it all, acrylics, I love the smell of monomer in the morning. I kid. No, don't just go sniffing monomer, guys. This is really, really strong chemicals. Don't do it. Anyway, so yeah, I got my license at the end of 2017. And in 2018, I started building my clientele, and I was at the time still working on my full-time job. I was working my full-time job during the day, and then as soon as I left, I would go to where my mom was working out of. So my mom was still working. She bought a little house and transformed that into her shop, where it was just her. She didn't have to worry about overhead. I was working in a back room out of the house, building up my clientele, kind of piggybacking off of her clients. Sorry, I had to go cut up some green apples for the little. So yeah, that took me I started technically the end of December 2017, building up my clientele. By June 2018, I submitted my resignation to my job, and I was ready to go full on. Like I quit my job to be a nail tech full time. The game plan or the goal was always to open up my own beauty salon with my mom as my partner, because she's had the, years of expertise, and I have the new, fresh social media marketing skills. So together we could do no wrong, right? Easy. So yeah, I left that job, got my LLC all in the same month, and Madam Gems was born. Boom. So we started that summer. I was just continuously building. Just kept building until I want to say February of 2019. Actually, I'm sorry. In the meantime, while I'm building, I actually started working at the airport spa at the time. So I got a job at the airport spa just so I can get some more practice to gain speed, to get faster. So this is why I said in the last video, build your way up before you go to booth renter. So you can not only work on your speed, work on your skill, perfect your craft. So then when you're on your own, you're not wasting time or money going slow doing people, or, whatever the case is, whether you're a hairstylist, a nail tech, esthetician, work somewhere like a corporate place where they could train you and you could learn their ways, and it can help build on what you already know. You add on to it and then turn it and make it your own, right? So that's what I was doing, working at the airport spa. There we weren't allowed to do acrylic nails, but it was perfectly fine because when it came to the pedicures, baby, and it's the airport spa, we were literally timed because we had to get people in and out in 30 minutes. It was not a joke. It was not a game because people had flights to catch. It helped me a lot gain speed, and it also helped me just gain knowledge on products, on gel polishes. I killed the gel polish game. When it comes to gel polishes, I'm queen of that. I can own it. I dominate. So yeah, it helped me with that. And then also on the salon and on the manager and running, how to run, like what products they use, how they stock their inventory, just stuff like that. You have to do it. You have to gain practical experience before you do it on your own, I would suggest. Because it helps. It helps. So anyway, February 2019, we've been looking this whole time for a location, and we finally found the perfect location. It was in a central location where our clientele was mostly, and we kind of got the best of both worlds. We had our steady clientels and we could get new clientels within the 5-mile radius. This is all the research that it takes to looking and getting your own salon, right? So, wow. Just thinking back on that time, it's like I was pregnant with my second child as well. So much life was happening. So much life. We had bought our house. I was like pregnant. February 2019. So we found the location, right? For Madame Gem's Beauty Salon and Spa. Got our licensing done, went to the city, did what we had to do. Signed the lease, paid our deposit. And then we started working and building out the salon suite, just building out the unit. We got a completely shell unit, meaning it was completely empty. It was literally just walls and the floor and a bathroom. So we had to build everything from the ground up, okay? We had like sketches of the layouts. Like we had to do so much stuff. Run plumbing all throughout for the sinks, for the utility sink, for like the shampoo bowls, for the esthetician room. Electric, we had these stands that stood in the middle of the shop. So we had to run electric through the top to get power current to those stations. Those were double-sided stations because we wanted to optimize on space. So we did double-sided stations so we could fit, instead of 2, we fit 4 in that same like area of space. And man, it was so much building out and planning. So when I think back to it, I just don't even know like how I did that. And I was 7 months pregnant. Yes, 7 months pregnant. And that's probably why I went into labor early, because my daughter was supposed to be born on April 21st. She came the 1st. But that's fine, neither here nor there. Built out a whole beauty salon from scratch. And the experience, it was unmatched. You read and do research on things and you hear people talk about it, but when you go through it, you can't even begin to imagine the things that pop up and the things that happen. And, you just live and learn. And I, even thinking back, I'm just being reminded of like stuff with contractors and like, invoices and, oh my gosh, like scheduling out appointments and somebody being there with the key to open up. It was a fun time. I'll tell you that. It was a fun time. I was literally going into labor with my daughter. I went to my doctor's appointment and I was already 8 centimeters dilated, right? Of course, because I'm not sitting my ass down. So anyway, my doctor's like, you need to go to the hospital like right now. And I was like, excuse me? He's like, yep, you're having this baby today. So in the meantime, I'm going to the hospital right now. I go home, get my bag, make sure my daughter is good. My oldest daughter is good with my mom at home. And I'm texting my AC guy to go check on the AC unit. I'm texting the landlord about opening the door. I'm home with my daughter. She can't leave. And me and my husband are going to the hospital. All the while, I'm like, stop off at Chick-fil-A because these people will not let me eat when I get there. And I do not have time for the shenanigans. So like, I literally have text messages saved, like pictures, like it was insane. God. Crazy. We get everything that we need to get done by May. Mind you, I'm 1 month postpartum at this point. So everything is built out. Everything looks great. We're ready to get the occupational license to open. Go to submit the occupational license and there's a problem with inspection on the landlord side of the building. Something that is unbeknownst to us, something that we would have never known until we applied for occupational license. It took us from May to November to get that occupational license. So we're running on partial, like we're technically not open, but we still have clients. So what the hell? Like we still got to see our people. We're just not advertising that we're open. Because baby, we got to do what we got to do, right? We still got to get this money. Nobody is stopping the bag. From November, we finally get the clear to get an occupational license. We get everything that we need to get, and we're ready to open. We have our grand opening January 4th, 2020. And boy, had that been a year. Okay, I had a baby. We built out a whole salon. Wasn't able to open for half the damn time anyway. And then finally gets to this place. And it's like, no, we turn it up. We're celebrating. So that was a great day. It was such a fun day. So many people came out to support. It was just awesome. So much love all around. And our OG clients were there, just so happy for us and proud of us. And it was a good time. So now we got the salon open. We good. We lit. We're like, all right, we did all the hard work. The hard work is done. Y'all know what's coming next. Y'all know what's coming next. COVID. Oh my gosh. COVID came through. By the end of March. No, technically when we got news that COVID was touched America, I will never forget the date, March 9th, 2020. Oh my gosh. Excuse my nails. I just realized something. Remember that March 9th, and it just hit me. I gotta write this down. Sorry, guys. March 9th, 2020 was the first time we heard of COVID hitting the United States. So at this moment, sorry. And the landlord, as clients are hitting me up, canceling because nobody knows what the fuck is going on, right? We're like, what? Contact, I'm canceling my appointment because I'm not trying to die. Oh my God. The shit show that was. We were like pretty much fully booked because spring break was coming up as well. I'm getting anxiety thinking about it all over again. Spring break is coming up as well. And we have people booking and then now not booking. Everything is falling through. All appointments are being canceled. Hit up my landlord like, look, I don't know what's about to happen, but we're not paying you for April because, hello, we have nobody. We have no more clients. Then we find out we have to shut down on March. I remember these dates like they were yesterday because, oh my gosh, I'll never forget this part. March 26th, was our official last day of being open. And we had to shut down because of COVID. We were shut down for 2 months. Y'all ever heard of a business that opened and 2 months later got shut down? Like, what? It's insane. It's crazy. I can't make this stuff up, y'all. Oh my God. Okay. COVID shut us down. So now we're opening back up May 11th. Like, these dates are like embedded in my brain. May 11th, 2020, we were able to open back up again. In the meantime, I'm doing all the press, I'm doing all the social media, and we're getting some traction, right? And thank God for that time, because I don't know if it was because of that or because people was down to support Black businesses at the time because of the whole George Floyd thing that happened, which is so unfortunate because why did such a tragedy like that have to happen for people to want to support Black businesses? Anyway, we're not going to go deep into the political aspect of it all. When we opened up, I kid you not, y'all, we were booked up within like 2 weeks. And I'm looking like, what? What's going on? What happened? I'm worried about how we're going to pay for rent. I'm worried about, but God, okay? But God. So we were booming. We came back booming. It was like, da, 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 da. I was so slammed and I was the only nail tech at the time. We didn't even have employees at the time. It was just me and my mama. Mom doing hair, I'm doing nails. We was flying solo in that thing. So we finally were able to expand and actually grow and like function as a business for a longer extended period of time than 2 months. A fully functioning business. And that summer was insane. That summer was crazy. I just did not expect those projected numbers that we hit. And I'm so glad we did, because that was what kept us alive. That's what kept us afloat. And we gained so many new clients from that time. So now it's, a great year. I mean, a year for a business, first opening and shutting down and opening again. I was loving our numbers. We did really good. And honestly, it wasn't the best. Like, we weren't out the hole because, we spent so much building out the salon. So when I say we did really good, I mean, we actually weren't as deep in the red as we could have been. It wasn't projected. So that's what I'm saying. We were still in the red, y'all. That's another thing that people don't tell you about running your own business, how long you're going to be in the red for. You don't anticipate it. But this is the stuff you need to take into consideration if you're really trying to run your own beauty salon. Whether it be big scale or booth rent, you're renting a room as a studio, a salon suites. You know what I mean? You have to take everything into consideration. January 2021, we have employees now. We're just building and growing. Life is good. It's not too scary. We're doing all right. We're doing all right. And figuring out the logistics of running a business, like between clients, employee retention, gaining new clients, advertising. Oh my gosh, there was so much. We were on the radio at one point. We had we had banners made to put outside. We finally put our name on our billboard. It was a lot. So much exciting new things going on in 2021. That's when I feel like we were really okay, I was really confident in what I was doing. And I was like, yo, I'm really doing this. I can do this. This is working. It's not perfect, but it's functioning. Okay. We're self-sustaining. We're not sinking. The boat is not sinking. The best months, the months that got us out of the red of debt for the business was literally October to December of 2021. Yeah. I wanted to cry real tears. The grand opening October of 2021, because I felt gypped out of my first grand opening. We lost all that momentum, all that marketing and all the advertising we did for the salon. I feel was kind of just messed up because COVID hijacked everything, and everybody was worried about COVID, and nobody wanted to go out and do their nails and get pedicures. Nobody wanted to be touched. Hello, obviously I get it, but it sucks for the business that we're in because we are high contact beauty professionals. So I wanted to redo. I took that initiative and was no, we need a do-over. We're going to do this over again. And we're going to celebrate. Not only are we celebrating just being open and alive and thriving, but coming up, being up. So had a grand opening October 2021, and that we was up, baby, out the red. So October, November, December, chef's kiss. Prime time, baby. That was the prime of Madam Gem's beauty. It was so awesome. Nobody could knock me off that high. But yet, here we are, battling COVID again, but the actual virus, right? Everybody and their mama had COVID January of 2022. It was bad. Cleared our books out once again, because not only were the stylists sick, the clients were sick, everybody was sick. We were shut down for a solid week just because everybody was sick from COVID. Because it was what's the point? Can nobody go in? Nobody can go in. Everybody needs to stay home. We're on lockdown. We survived that. February, we're all right, let's get the momentum back going, guys. We got this. February was a good month as well because Valentine's, and people were all right, we're sick of being inside. We ready to start coming back. Let's get ready for March. Once again, March, spring break, right? Yeah, so remember what I said about that March 9th date in 2020 when when it first hit me that my business was going to be shutting down because of COVID, right? Tell me how. Tow truck. The tow truck that changed my life forever to this point. The tow truck happened March 8th in 2022. Listen, I'm a big numbers girl, and I don't believe in coincidences. What the heck is up with that first week of March? I need to be careful around March 8th, 9th when it comes to my business, because I don't even know. A tow truck. This is gonna have to be another episode. This episode's too long. I'm gonna pick this back up in another episode because I don't think I'm ready to go there. Love you guys.